Hello, we're outside the hall and we're talking to Jeff Katz. Jeff, you do the morning drive for Rush Radio 1200?
I do indeed.
And what city is that out of?
That's in Boston.
And tell me what brings you down here. What made you a part of the Tea Party movement?
Well, I've been active in politics since I was about 12 years old, and so I've always followed political activities. But what's happened over the last couple of years, I've become a father. I have 3 little children, and so I see things in a very, very different perspective. To be perfectly blunt, I think I lived a large part of my life in sort of this egomaniacal, self-centered, self-indulgent sort of way, and all of a sudden I realized it isn't about me. It's about my 3 kids. I don't like the direction that the country's going. I don't like the actions of people who are supposed to be leading us, and I don't like them in the big picture. It scares me what sort of a country I'm going to pass on to my children, and so that's my motivation.
Now, as a person involved in media, you've seen how the media has portrayed the Tea Parties, especially lately, practically drooling the hope that the Tea Parties were involved in Times Square. What drives this worldview for the media, this image of the Tea Parties?
Well, I think that what you have for the mainstream media, you have folks who are fundamentally very left of center. You have folks who have invested themselves personally as well as professionally in left-wing politics. And so they see the Tea Party, they see bloggers, they see alternative media, they see talk radio, they see it as a threat. You know, Ted Koppel just a few weeks ago gave an interview to the BBC. He complained about the readily accessible news that's out there. He believes there needs to be a filter. He believes that it needs to be him, it needs to be Katie Couric, it needs to be other folks with a left-wing perspective to filter it before the rest of us can get it. And so I think they're very much invested in that. They want to make sure that we can't see it. And so they see the Tea Party just as regular folks who say, wait a minute, we know what you've been telling us, and we know it's not true.
Now, what would you advise a person who watches the mainstream media and has the image of the Tea Party that they've given them to do when they hear about the Tea Party? Would you advise them to come to an event and see for yourself?
I would tell them, number one, turn off the show. I mean, and the numbers indicate, quite frankly, that very few people left in the country care what Katie Couric or Diane Sawyer or some other folks are spinning these days. The network TV news has become about as irrelevant as you can get. But yeah, by all means, come out, come to a Tea Party yourself. You go to as an example, the Tea Party that was on the Common in Boston. This was like a county fair somewhere. Good, decent people standing around having a great time, talking about their families, talking about their friends, talking about their country. There was nothing ugly. There was nothing nasty. There were people of all religious backgrounds, all ethnic backgrounds. What has united people in the Tea Party is this love of country and concern for the country.
And where does the Tea Party movement go after the election?
Well, that's a good question, and the simple answer is, I don't know. I want to see those folks who are involved in the Tea Party stay active, stay concerned, and become involved in the election. Look, the easy part really is standing at a rally. The easy part is complaining and griping about something being wrong. The hard work involves going out, finding candidates who reflect what it is that you believe in, and working to elect them. So my hope is that the Tea Party activists remain committed through November, and then if you do get folks elected, we have to hold them accountable as well. Don't let them become part of the Washington establishment. You know, something happens with that Potomac air. All of a sudden they get there and they forget why they're there. We need to remind them on a regular basis. And
I'd be impolite if I didn't give you a chance to plug your radio show.
Sure. It's the Jeff Katz Show. See, I spent a lot of time coming up with that. It's Rush Radio 1200 in Boston. We air every single day, Monday through Friday, from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and online it's rushradio1200.com.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.